Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. Yes guys, I know it's been ages. Thank you for clicking on today's video. If you're new to my channel, thank you. Welcome. My name is Maureen Atsu. I'm a food, family, lifestyle, health care, I'm a lifestyle vlogger, guys. So I hope you like channel and just be a part of my family. Welcome. Let's get to 4K, guys. It's been long overdue. Let's just get to 4K. Today I'm going to be talking about, today is the 2nd of August and I've been officially married, go get something else to eat. My anniversary was yesterday, which is 1st of August, which was my 80th anniversary. Officially white weddingly married, if there's anything like that. Then traditionally 9 years, and then meeting my husband, being with him in total is 10 years. And yes, it's been 8 solid years of saying yes I do. And you guys, today I just want to share 5 things that I have learned so far. Most of the things I'll be sharing is based on my personal experience. Of course, they say to us that there's really no manual to marriage, but I honestly think that when they say that there's really no manual to marriage, I do not think like that. I do not think so. I totally disagree. I don't know about you. I totally disagree that there is no manual to marriage. I feel like if you know the kind of person that you're in a relationship or in this marriage relationship with, then there should be a manual. And if there's a marriage, as in a marriage that seems almost like yours, and you see that some things are working for them, it's okay to also adapt their manual. That is not to say that you're comparing. No, that's not to say that you're trying to live another person's life. But I feel like if you see a successful marriage, you could pick 1 or 2 things from that successful marriage and add to the manual that you've already set up for yourself. Yeah, so of course, I think that there should be a manual which we should set up for ourselves in marriage. So when they say, oh, there's no manual, there's no formula, honestly, I think there should be, or there is. So welcome back, guys. I'm going to be sharing some things I've learned so far, and in the comment section, share with me if it relates with you or whatever you've learned in your marriage. Share with me in the comment section and let me see if I can pick 1 or 2 also from you. So guys, the first thing I learned in this 9 years is the art of communication. So before I got married, I was the kind of person that felt like if you're with me, you should be able to understand me. You should be able to know what I want and what I don't want. You should be able to just, read my mind because you're Jesus Christ. I expected that my husband should be able to know when my mood changes, when I'm not happy. You should be able to, just know exactly what is going on with me. So the art of communication was one of those parts that, I didn't really know how to convey very well. I felt like, oh, I don't want to say this way because I don't want to hurt him, or I don't want to tell him that this is what I want until he asks me, or I don't want to just say my mind immediately. Let's just take our time. Maybe later on I'm going to talk about it. So when it came to communication, I really failed. And then oftentimes at the earlier stage of my marriage, I really wanted him to just read my mind, know exactly what I want. I expected that after 1 month he should be able to know that I needed money to go make my hair, or he should be able to know that I need to buy cream, I need to buy soap. He should be able to just look at the containers in the bathroom and know that, oh, her soap has finished, she needs to replace it, or she will need money to buy cream, or at the end of every month she will need money for upkeep. So communication is very important in every marriage. You need to be able to know the right time to talk about something, and you need to be able to express yourself. Say what you want, say what you think, say what you think. And the way you also convey your message, the way you speak really matters in marriage. Sometimes when you're having an argument and the way you present yourself during that argument, determines if the argument is going to linger or if you're just going to sort it out immediately and move on, and if the other party is not going to be offended. Your voice, your tonation, like the sound of your voice, the way you present your case, is very, very, very important in a marriage. Understanding the right time to communicate when it comes to maybe you're having issues, understanding the right time to be able to speak up or tell the person how you feel about a certain thing is also very, very key. It's very important for you to not speak when you're angry. Honestly, when I got married earlier, I will say everything at that point that I'm so hot, and in the process of saying everything and saying how I feel with so much anger, I'll end up saying things that I ought not to have said, and I'll end up finding myself going back to apologize even when I didn't have any need to. But because I have already messed the situation up by the way I talked, by the way I lashed, because of that, I end up regretting every time that we have an argument. I end up being the one to regret it. I don't know about my husband, because my husband is the kind of person that really takes his time, to talk about something. Over the years, I started learning to just cool off, to tell myself to calm down a little bit when I'm very upset. I'll just ask myself, you need to calm down a little bit. This is not the right time. Can you talk about this after 1 hour? Can you talk about this after 2 hours? And in being able to control my emotions, I've been able to get to that place where arguments don't cause a lot of prolonged. If we were meant to not talk to each other for a whole day, I make argument this time, we'll just not prolong it up to 1 hour. Sometimes we'll just talk about it immediately, and in the next 3 minutes we're talking about something else. Everybody has been able to calm down. Why? Because I learned how to be able to control my my emotions when I am very, very upset. So now the second thing I also got to, there are lots of things, but I didn't write this out, so you guys should bear with me. Second thing I also learned this years is the fact that my husband is not, in as much as my husband is my friend, your husband is not the source of your happiness. He's not going to make you happy 24 hours in 7 days. I don't know if you understand. Or let's say all through the month, he'll always do things to make you happy. No. At the end of the day, your husband came from a very different place entirely. He came from a different home. He was raised differently. You were raised differently. The way I was raised is not very similar to the way my husband was raised, So your husband is not or cannot really be your 24-hour source of happiness. Of course, he can be your source of happiness, but it's not gonna be 24 hours or for the 7 days. He's gonna go to work. Definitely he's gonna go to work. He's gonna go out with his friends. He's gonna love things that also make him happy, So I learned that I think in the 3rd or the 4th year in my marriage, I learned how to find things that made me really, 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 really happy. Things that anytime I'm not really in a good mood, I could go to. When I'm editing or when I'm watching a video online or when I'm trying to create a content, it just gets my mind. My mind is focused on content creating, focused on, doing my own thing, rather than thinking of my husband. So one of the things that a lot of women do not realize is the fact that your husband will not give you that 24 hours in 7 days happiness. You need to also find things that give you happiness. Find the inner you, those things that you look at and you just see yourself smiling. It could be going swimming, it could be just watching some movies, some kinds of movies, it could be reading books, it could be just find things that will give you, that you can do at your leisure time, knowing that this man will not always be there. Of course, when he's there, enjoy family time, enjoy all the time in the world with him, but not also forgetting that there are also times that he also will need his space. And there's a time when maybe the both of you are not just happy at that moment. Everyone just needs to do their own thing, and then find a way to come back and continue from where you stopped. So imagine when you're at that point in your life where you're not just happy, he's not happy, you know, maybe this is happening for a whole day. Imagine if you don't have any other thing that can occupy your time, what happens? And then also imagine if your partner is not in town, if your partner maybe travels. Okay, imagine if he goes out to drink with his friends. You should be able to have girlfriends that you also go, that you might not necessarily have to go to at that moment, but that you can talk to. And in talking to your girlfriends, you're happy. And in doing things that make you happy, you're happy. So this is for single people. As you're planning to get married, please take notes that your husband is not going to give you that 24 hours in 7 days happiness that you think you really need. Guys, you know there's an adage that says that it takes two to tango. Of course, in marriage, it honestly takes two to tango. I'm really sorry about all the background noise. The kids are on holiday, so you'll be hearing their footsteps, hearing some of their shouts and everything. In marriage, it really takes two to tango. And what kind of two does it take? For me, I personally feel like it takes two people that are really ready to put in the work. Marriage is a lot of work. Marriage is a lot of work, like hard work, not just work but effort. So it takes two people that are ready to put in the effort to make it work. Marriage is like a boat. It takes two people that are ready to sail in that boat and are ready and try as hard as they can not to sink. It takes them to get to their destination. So for me, over these years, I have learned that, you know, this thing that we often say, some women do this a lot, especially when they get married newly. A little thing, you'll be like, oh, I'm done with this marriage, I'm going back, I can't take this. And then some men will be like, oh, I'm not gonna marry you again, I'm done with this marriage, you know what, I'm going to leave you. To be honest, this is not meant to be. If I had known earlier, if I had known all this before now, before getting married, there is no way in my marriage that I'll ever open this mouth to say, oh, I'm not doing it again, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm not going to be with you again and all that. There is no way on earth. Of course, I was one of those people that made that mistake. So I feel like it is very, very important in marriage to sieve your words. That is not to say that you're not speaking your mind, but sieve your word, especially when you know you don't mean it. Especially when you know you don't mean it. Just saying it to hurt the other person, or saying it to make the other person scared or make the other person worry, is honestly totally unacceptable and not necessary at all. You know it, you know in your heart that you want this. Then why say, oh, I'm gonna leave? Because you feel like when you say this, you're gonna put the, okay, what if you constantly say, oh, I'm gonna leave, and the other person will now be like, okay, leave, just go, and then you're at that point that you can't even take a step, you can't even do it because you didn't mean it. So I feel like it's really not important to say the things you don't really mean, so that when you're now serious about it, the partner will know that, oh, she's really serious, she's really not happy about this, and for her to say this means that she's very, very serious about it. But if you're the unserious type that every time the first thing you say is, oh, that you're done with this marriage, the day that you'll be serious, or the day that you'll be saying something serious, your partner will not take you serious. It doesn't really have to do with you going, it has to do with other things. You have to say the things that you mean in your marriage. It's very important. Another thing which I wanted to add to this is setting boundaries. You really need to set up boundaries in the sense that you people should have like deal breakers, that if this happens in this marriage, which you're not praying for at all, but if this happens in this marriage, what is gonna happen? Because this kind of discussion is not something you bring up all the time. Have a discussion of, what if, God forbid, you go astray? What happens in this marriage? You understand? So for me and my husband, we used to talk about this. Like, my husband even talks about it more than I do. We talk about, okay, if God forbid God forbid, if one person cheats in the marriage, what happens? So we've told ourselves that if one person cheats in the marriage, just know that it is your fault that the marriage has scattered. it is your fault, and you live with that guilt because you're the one that went out there to disgrace us. You're the one that went out there to scatter a beautiful family that we have. So we always talk about this, and we also ask ourselves, what measures can we take to make sure that, you know, this does not happen. My kids almost will not let me make this video. The number 4 thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if I finished the number 3, but you guys should, you know, bear with me and just take it like that. Number 4th thing I wanted to talk about is when it comes to finances. I just want you to understand that as a woman, you also have a lot to contribute in the home, and it all depends on your situation. So with me, my situation at the early stage of my marriage was just me having my kids and not working, being a stay-at-home mom. And then my husband was on the I mean, like, he was the one bringing in the money that we used to run the family. I was doing so much emotionally. I was also there for him, you know. I advised him on some things that had to do with work, and anytime he has any complaint, I'm there to, you know, listen and give him my own advice and what I thought, you know, was the best he could have done at that moment. And I was also like very, very much involved. And you know, this guilt that women feel when they're not really bringing capital in terms of monetary assistance into the family, you feel so much guilt. I felt that guilt, I think, my first 1 or 2 years being a stay-at-home mom. I felt that guilt that I wasn't bringing, and because of that guilt, I saw myself like overdoing a lot of things, and I ended up stressing myself so much. And then because I wasn't also good with communication, when I now want to express myself and say how I feel, sometimes I overstress it, or I kind of became a bit nagging because I felt like, oh, I wasn't contributing. I did not really understand that as a stay-at-home mom, whatever you're bringing in, whatever you're doing, you clean, you cook, you take the kids to the hospital appointment, take the kids to the shop. If you're going to buy pepper, you're going out, especially in this country, you're going out with your kids, you don't have any help, you're doing so much. You make sure that, you know, there is food on the table, warm food for everyone to eat. You make sure that the house is clean and neat for everyone to, you know, be comfortable in. And you're still there to advise your partner, and you're still there for your partner. It was a lot, but because I didn't understand this part and I felt like I wasn't bringing like finance money, I kind of lived with guilt for about 2 years. And of course I was doing YouTube, but because my YouTube wasn't bringing anything, I really felt that guilt that I really needed to go out there and work. But yeah, you don't need to feel like that. You need to be comfortable until when you're really, really ready and you're sure that going out to work is what is gonna help you, or you're ready, like your kids are at a stage where you think you can actually leave them to go and get the money. Hi guys, so I'm back. I had to just pause this video to go out and take my children to the library because they were just all over the place, and I had promised them earlier that I was going to take them to the library, and I needed to fulfill this promise. So guys, yeah, I'm back, and yeah, let's continue. So I think I stopped when I was talking about, you know, finance, like money. So over the years, I have learned in my marriage that it is very, very important to be open when it comes to money. Like, be open with how much you're making to your partner, like be transparent. It's a different thing on you guys sitting down to plan on how you spend this money, but the person might not necessarily know that, oh, you're actually making 230 pounds or 40 pounds. It depends if you have a stable income, but at least just knowing that, okay, this is how much you make at the end of the month is very important. And I honestly feel like it's important to sit down as a couple and plan on how to spend your money. Everything that has to do with money, it's very necessary to do it together. In the process of doing it together, you get to find out if your partner is transparent, and you know, there will be that level of trust in the marriage. And if the person is not transparent, you is something that you can easily sit down and talk about. And then if the person is maybe a bad spender, you can still talk about it. Bad spender or high spender, you can still talk about it, and everybody will try to get to a common ground. Like, I feel like if there's anything that causes problem in marriage, mostly can be money, especially if the two parties are not transparent. The next point I also want to make is the fact that this very particular point, a lot of people say it a lot, but you know, it's something that we say, we feel it's okay to keep saying, but a lot of Christians are not doing it. And I in particular was not doing this. You know how you say, oh God, take absolute control of this marriage, and you pray for your marriage every day, and even at that time that you're not happy with your partner, you still keep praying for each other, you still keep praying about your marriage. They got to a point that I felt like, I'm not going to be praying about this. Like, why should I be praying about this? Like, you're a grown man, you should know the right thing to do, so why do you expect me to pray about this, you know? So there were times I used to be like that. And believe me, the more I decided I didn't want to pray about that, the more the problem kept lingering. And this is something that I could have easily just said, oh God, I don't like this situation. I've talked about this situation and I need you to put an end to this situation. But I just felt like, anyways, if you don't want to, you know, do the right thing, it's on you. I don't need to disturb God for you. But trust me, guys, the moment I started putting this particular issue to God in prayers, I mean, like, everything just changed. Everything just, you know, became okay. And it got me thinking at that point that, what would it have taken me all this while to just put this thing in prayer? And to think that, you know, the Holy Spirit kept telling me, why don't you pray about this? And I'm like, no, I'm not praying about this. You know, I felt like it's a minor thing. It's something that, you know, he can easily stop doing if he wants to. So why should I pray about it? Why should I be disturbing God for even little things that, you know, my husband should stop doing? Same thing with my husband. There was a time my husband told me that, you know, there were things that in our marriage that he didn't really want to pray about. But when he found himself praying about that he just saw that, you know, me and him, we kind of started talking about that particular thing. Meanwhile, it's something that on a normal day he will bring it up and I'll be like, please just let it go. I don't think it's necessary. I honestly feel like praying constantly, consistently, every morning as you thank God for your life, thank God for family. It's also very important to thank God for your, you know, marriage, thank God for your partner. Praying for your marriage and praying about your marriage is very, very important. I mean, it's a necessary thing. I've done it. It works for me. I definitely know that it has worked for a lot of people. Let me know in the comment section, what do you do? Like, what do you pray about? And then lastly, I want to say that if you're thinking of getting married and you're scared, because to be honest, there was a time in my life that I was scared as a single person of getting married, because I felt like marriage was a lot of from, you know, what I have heard, then I felt like marriage was a lot. It wasn't going to be easy. To be honest, marriage is one of the sweetest things that you can ever think of. Of course, there are times that the road will be a bit, you know, not so easy, but being with the right person is the only thing that can, you know, help you to navigate this road. I mean, like, being with someone who is ready to go on this journey with you. You know how, like, there is an issue and the both of you are just ready to resolve it there and then. When it is trouble time, the two of you are in it and are trying to see how you can solve it and get out of it. I remember when we had Obi, and I think I've shared that on this channel, and Obi at birth, after birth, 3 days after birth, had a little bit of complication that made him to undergo a surgery, like a very major surgery. That was one of the most challenging times in our lives, and we just saw ourselves holding hands, crying together. Like, tears was coming out from our eyes, and then and then we just were there for each other. We were just so strong for each other. Even when I was getting weak, and I was really going down, like feeling really depressed, my husband will be there for me. When he's feeling, you know, a bit depressed, that is when me, I'm stronger, and I'll be there for him. So that is the thing with marriage. Over the years, I've learned that, you know, you grow together, you enjoy all the good times together. When difficult times comes, which is not what we always pray for, but when these difficult times comes, you still find the yourselves going through these difficult times and getting over it, and you know, embracing the good times. And the most beautiful thing about marriage is that the good times are more than the difficult times, you know. Yeah, this is a few things that I felt like I wanted to share today. I have lots of them that I've learned over the years, and how I've, you know, remained happy, and how of course we have remained happy in our marriage. Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. How has it been for you? How many years have you been married for? What are the things that you've been able to learn? Of course, there are lots of mistakes that we've also made, which I might likely share in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please be a part of my family, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.